Well, Ruben Amorim provides a massive result for Sporting against City in his final home match, and Real Madrid lose yet again at the Bernabeu this season. It's a house of horrors there at the moment. Surely the Sporting result will keep Manchester United supporters' feet on the ground, right? What's up, everyone? I'm Adrian, and welcome back to UCL this week. We do this every week that there are Champions League matches, of course, so why not join us? Subscribe. We do varying kinds of content here, as I'll go over in this video. PSV hosted Girona in one of the early matches from Tuesday, and man, I do feel for Girona some. Not only did they score yet another own goal, their fourth own goal in 4 matches, which according to Opta Jose means that they have set the record for the most in a single Champions League competition, but they also got a red card, totally just red card by the way, but still. And this happened right before the first goal. This man was inches away from a foul throw, but his heel was on the line. And that means it's legal because the laws of the game say, stand facing the field of play, have part of each foot on the touchline or on the ground outside the touchline, throw the ball with both hands from behind and over the head from the point where it left the field of play. Yeah, that last one absolutely never gets upheld, but yes, looks like from this angle, his foot was indeed on the line. So close, Girona, so close. But the match wasn't close. Sorry, fellas, as PSV continue to look really nice. Them and AS Monaco were my two interesting teams coming into this competition. We'll see later how Monaco did, but PSV win 4-0, goal from Bakayoko. Let's go. Speaking of AS Monaco, they defeated Bologna away as they continue to stick to the top of the table, well, around the top of the table. They are looking very, very good. Adi Hütter still got it. Celtic continued the hurt for RB Leipzig, who have lost every single match in the Champions League now. Truly bizarre form from RB Leipzig. It's not as if they are suffering in the Bundesliga. Sure, they lost this past weekend away to Dortmund 2-1 there, but they are second behind Bayern Munich by just 3 points, 23-20. It's strange stuff. Celtic, on the other hand, love to see it for them. 2 wins and a draw as Nicolas Gerrit-Kuhn scored a brace and Rio Hatat with the other as they turned things around after going 1-0 down in the 23rd minute at home. Slovan Bratislava, they are Vibes FC in this competition. They hosted Dinamo Zagreb, who, by the way, have put in some good performances themselves, and Slovan fell 4-1 at home. Still looking for a point, those guys. They're still 3 points FC. Lille and Juve played out a 1-1 draw, and Borussia Dortmund won 1-0 against Sturm Graz at home. So with those out of the way, let's move to the big 3 from Tuesday night, which is what most of you are here for. Sporting versus Manchester City, a lose-lose situation for Ruben Amorim. Win, and the hype is unbearable for you. Lose, and some of the sillier United supporters and the anti-United people will be making fun of him already. Well, his side conceded early and they did not cover themselves in glory. No fault of the tactics, really. Just getting caught in their own end on the ball. Foden steals it, goes forward, hits a rather tame shot at goal, and the keeper dove out of the way. I assume he couldn't see around the defender. Makes sense, but it looked funny. Minutes later, and Gyökeres was in clear one-on-one with Ederson, and he chipped it straight into his hands. Rare moment of Gyökeres looking a bit nervous in a situation like that, but he of course made up for it because he has a sick addiction to scoring goals. In the 38th minute, he was played right through the heart of Manchester City's defense, route one, and instead of chipping Ederson, he kind of hit a clipped finish past him, lifted it a bit, but not chipped. More chip talk soon in this episode. Plenty of it. Real Madrid, Liverpool, chip heads out there will be feasting. Okay, so I was talking to my wife in the kitchen for a while, and I came back to the TV to see that Sporting had scored not once, but twice. The first from Sporting, playing through City's defense again, then Maxi Araujo hit it through Ederson's legs. About a minute after that, Trincão was taken down in the box, and Gyökeres converted the penalty. 3-1 before 5 minutes were even up in the second half. But it was a good showing of what I spoke of in this video about what to expect of Amorim, his tactics, etc. Stretching the opposition's backline out to create space, then playing through the gaps left in the middle. They are superb at that. City would get a penalty, which I didn't love given the ball went off of the defender's foot and deflected up off of his arm, as you could see here, but thankfully my opinion on it doesn't really matter in the end because Erling Haaland decided he would rather try to smash the crossbar off of the posts rather than score. So the score remained 3-1. Don't worry though. Another Scandinavian dude was good at taking penalties in this match, and that man was Viktor Gyökeres, who made it 4-1 from the spot after Nunez gave away a penalty to his former team. Undercover agent and a hat-trick for Gyökeres. Unbelievable. And it's not like the goals were coming against the run of play. Sporting were carving City open. And that's just a testament to Rodri, I think, isn't it? City have been brutal at defending transitions without him, and a smart coach with an excellent counter-attacking team like Amorim and Sporting will absolutely take advantage of that. 4-1 the final. What a send-off for Ruben Amorim, as that was his final match at the Alvalade with Sporting. His final match in general is away to Braga this weekend. Liverpool hosted Leverkusen as Arne Slot's trial by fire is really kicking off now, isn't it? They're in the thick of it now. But anyway, Liverpool looked good in the early exchanges of this one, passing around the Leverkusen defense and looking lively. But around the 20th minute, we started to see Leverkusen come into this match much more. You had Frimpong getting in behind, but going down after Van Dijk's arm was on his shoulder. Not a penalty for me, but one of those ones where you are inviting the referee to make a decision, and that could have gone against Liverpool with another ref. Or there was Victor Boniface getting in behind and only finding the side netting from a tight angle. There were looks for Leverkusen in this match, that's for sure. Frimpong was in fact a thorn in their side in that first half, as he got in again right before the half and powered a strike past Kelleher, but it was brought back for offside, so a let-off for Liverpool, who had taken their foot off of the gas a bit as the half went on. Chip heads, like I said, gather all you chip heads, because in this match, Luis Diaz treated us to a beautiful meal of a chip over Hradecky. Played in well, but the finish from him was great. Man on fire this season under Arne Slot, and it was coming, wasn't it? Mo Salah should have tested Hradecky earlier. There were other opportunities that Liverpool were snatching at or shooting when they should pass, but once they scored one, the other came a moment later. Beautiful cross from Salah, Gakpo with a towering header past the keeper, 2-0 in a flash. While Leverkusen had a chance here or there, the second half was all Liverpool, and Luis Diaz would make it 3. Crazy that he had time to control the ball on the 6 and then smack it past the keeper, but Liverpool's passing and movement, Leverkusen were chasing shadows. Diaz would later get his hat-trick thanks to Darwin being incredibly greedy, actually, and the ball fell kindly to him from Darwin's strike. 4-0 Liverpool over the German champions. Real Madrid and AC Milan was definitely the big match of the night, right? Though neither side is in great form so far this season, are they? Real Madrid didn't play this last weekend as they were scheduled to play Valencia, so of course, with the horrible, tragic, deadly flood that has struck that part of Spain, that match was postponed. All the best to the people in that area. But Real Madrid were on top for the opening of this match, coming close on a few occasions and keeping Milan in their own half. That is until Malik Chow beat who else but Eder Militão to the ball from a corner, and he converted. Man, it's not even that he jumped higher than Militão or something. I've been super unimpressed with Eder Militão of late. Really poor performances from him. Real Madrid reacted well, however, not taking too long to find their equalizer, about 11 minutes. Vinicius slipped through, took a touch past Emerson Royal, a great touch, but the Brazilian way overcommitted and brought Vinny down, the other Brazilian. Stonewall penalty and a stunning chipped finish from Vinicius. I don't know that this was a pure Panenka, just a lovely chipped penalty. Well, every chip penalty is called a Panenka these days, but I don't know that it was one of the purest form, which has to be straight down the middle, which it was, and no longer rising. In fact, better if it's falling as it passes over the line, according to Panenka himself. But hey, I only saw it once. Editor Adrian can tell me if it's wrong once he sees the replays.
Yeah, it was absolutely a Panenka. Upon further review, absolutely a Panenka. It traveled like this, it leveled out, crossed the line. It wasn't dropping, which is ideal, but it wasn't rising anymore. So, according to Panenka, that would pass.
Anyway, AC Milan wouldn't go away, and Real Madrid's lax defense struck once again. I did an entire video analysis on Real Madrid's issues. You should check it out. But yes, a strike from Rafael Leão that was saved by Lunin, and Alvaro Morata was the only man live to the ball for the easy finish. And so for the second match day running, Real Madrid were trailing at the half at the Bernabeu. But that's where Ancelotti and the boys get fired up and run away with it, right? But it was AC Milan that dug up the best chances in the second half, early in the second half, I should say. A header from Rafael Leão forced a fantastic save out of Andre Lunin, and he saved the follow-up as well. Unbelievable header, even better save. And Milan looked really dangerous on the counter, didn't they? You had the Pulisic situation where he plays in Leão, and Leão made a mess of it. Then shortly after, Leão had another opportunity that kind of made a mess of, and Rudiger recovered to stop him. And against Real Madrid, you must bury these chances. Then again, as evidenced in the video I spoke of, they will leak chances, and lots of them, especially when Real Madrid needs a goal. Easy pickings, and they did so. And I'm going to bring it up once again. In the video, I highlight how so many of the goals that Real Madrid concede come from the right side of defense, Vázquez and Militão's side. And the third goal they conceded was no exception. Great work from Reinders and Rafael Leão to work the ball down the flank. Huge burst of speed from Leão to blow past his marker, and then squared ball that Reinders controlled and put past a stranded Lunin. 3-1 Milan. More aggravations at the Bernabeu. Rudiger, arguably Real Madrid's best performer lately, had a goal disallowed. I felt for him, but the right call was made as Rodrigo was often affecting the play by dragging a defender out of the play. And then Mike Maignan made a ridiculous save in stoppage time from a Diaz strike. Magic Mike. AC Milan hang on for the win, and Real Madrid are still suffering from the same issues. Light at the back thanks to neglecting defense and transfer windows and a misfiring attack. They are absolutely wobbling around in this Champions League so far. They've already lost to Lille. They nearly, I shouldn't say nearly lost to Borussia Dortmund. It was 5-2 after all, but at the half, it was looking dangerous for them. And had Nuri Sahin approached that second half differently, maybe it would have been a different story. But then they lose to AC Milan as well. Whew. Not looking good. Inter versus Arsenal, and this felt like a classic Inter win. Not so much the strong Inter from last season that was balling out at times. Maybe the Inter from a season or two prior, sitting back defensively, choosing their moments, defending incredibly well, and getting their goal from the penalty spot. Hakan Çalhanoğlu with a strike right down the middle past Raya. I believe he has missed from the spot just once for Inter, which was last month, which is an unbelievable record. Sommer also made a fantastic save in the 58th minute at full stretch to stop an effort that was curling into that far corner, as Arsenal certainly had some solid attempts in the second half. But again, without Odegaard, they were looking a bit feeble from open play, a problem which has hampered them for a while. In fact, last season, that was one of their main weapons, converting from set pieces, and that was with Odegaard in the lineup. Jan Bisek saved what would have been a certain goal pretty much with his block on Kai Havertz in the 75th minute, as it was more frustration for Arsenal. They would retain possession in Inter's half around their area, but would find it difficult to find chances. And when they did, Inter either defended it well, would get a block, or Sommer was there to stop them. And it's got to be worrying for Arteta. It's not as if their defense is horrible. It's quite good, in fact. But again, goals from open play, just like last season, are an area of difficulty for this team. All of the danger comes from Saka on the edge of the box, on the right side, which makes it easier to defend. And it's not just because of Odegaard missing, by the way. It's also because they lack presence in the box. For all of the good that Havertz has done, Arsenal still look light in the attack in that regard, and they don't have an effective plan B to throw crosses in there, especially against a team that defends as well as Inter. Well, Odegaard came on for the final 5 minutes or so there is a light at the end of the tunnel for Arsenal supporters in some respects, and I imagine their form will improve, but still some figuring out to do in the attack for Arteta. As for Inter, brilliant defending, masterful really, and their game management in the second half was superb. Not at all playing at the peak of their powers this season so far, but that was a mature, controlled 1-0 win from Inzaghi. Benfica versus Bayern Munich. Honestly, I expected it to be a blowout, considering Bayern has never lost to Benfica in their history, 12 matches unbeaten going into this one. They love to beat down on us, and I think that there is a clause in a Bayern Munich manager's contract that if they lose to Barcelona and fail to beat Benfica, they get automatically sacked. That sounds real, right? Anyway, Benfica dug in like crazy, played absolute bunker ball, World War II tactics, Helms Deep tactics, until Bayern finally break the deadlock with a Kane header that was partially blocked, falling into the path of Jamal Musiala. Benfica had some moments after that where they maybe could have caused Bayern some trouble, but it was relatively easy defensively for Bayern in the end. 1-0 there. I mean, honestly, I didn't mind Laj's approach. I never expected Benfica to go to Bayern and try to play them off the park, and he nearly got the result. Well, the result being a draw that he was looking for. Atletico Madrid versus PSG. Absolute vintage Atleti, my man. You love to see it. Unless you are a PSG supporter, of course. Warren Zaire-Emery opened the scoring in the 14th minute. Absolute horror show from Clément Lenglet. That goal looked almost match-fixy, the way he just stood there and let Dembele take it. By the way, not accusing him of match-fixing, of course. Just a figure of speech. Just like his mistake was so ridiculous that it could only be explained as doing it on purpose, you know? Molina scored with a sick strike that Donnarumma had zero chance of saving from this range. Mind you, he made a pretty tasty save just seconds before that, so respect to Donnarumma there. And then Atleti went on life support for the rest of the match pretty much, outshot 22-4 in total, Oblak with 8 saves until the 93rd minute when Oblak threw the ball forward, Griezmann collected, switched play, Angel Correa calmly stepped around Vitinha and scored. Against the run of play, to say the least. I believe the word smash and grab is really floating around in regard to this match, and there isn't a better way of labeling this one. 2-1 Atleti at the Parc des Princes. One of the early matches, Aston Villa away to Club Brugge, and the villains have run out of steam a bit, haven't they? Across all competitions, they have now lost 3 matches consecutively and are winless in 4. And the way in which they lost this match to Brugge... So in case you missed it, Emi Martinez had a kick, and he passed it to Tyrone Mings, who put his hand on the ball and kicked it back to Emi Martinez. It was basically the same situation as Gabriel and Raya last season against Bayern Munich, except Arsenal were lucky to not be punished, as Villa were punished. So it was a penalty, and Hans Van Aken, the legend, converted to give Brugge the win, 1-0. Shakhtar got their first win of this Champions League campaign as they defeated Young Boys 2-1. They actually fell behind in Gelsenkirchen, caught playing with their food at the back, and Emery punished them to put Young Boys 1-0 up, but they didn't take too long to draw level, and by the 41st minute, Sudakov scored what was the winner. First off, great work from Zubkov, who looks good for Shakhtar. He scored the equalizer, by the way. Then Sudakov with some incredible control and a turn of pace before smashing it low across goal past the keeper. 2-1 Shakhtar, keep your eyes on Sudakov, absolutely massive talent. Stade Brestois, coupe your hop. 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 Come on, man. Can you believe this? Look, as someone who is deeply familiar with Stade Brestois' story, again, I made a documentary on them qualifying for the competition, which was completely against all odds, linked below, of course. Even knowing everything that I do about this club, this is still unbelievable to see. Stade Brestois defeating Sparta Praha one match week after drawing Bayer Leverkusen. This is insane. Massive chapeau to Eric Roy and the fellows. Huge achievement, huge result. They continue to roll on as one of the top-ranked teams in this competition. Allez! Atalanta continue their fine form with a 2-0 victory away to Stuttgart. Who else but the incredible Ademola Lookman to get the opener. Great work from Charles de Catalara to set him up. And then Nicolo Zaniolo doubled the lead late on, pouncing on another mistake at the back from Stuttgart. They were coughing up the ball in their own half a little too often in that second half, weren't they? Atalanta with 3 wins now, undefeated in 9 matches across all competition, winning 4 in a row. Barcelona beat down on Crvena Zvezda, winning 5-2, which was no surprise, but Jules Koundé getting 3 assists. That's a big surprise. Man was playing like Pirlo out there. He is one of 4 defenders who have assisted 3 times in a single match since the 2016-17 season. Cancelo, Hakimi, and Jordi Alba are the others. Martinez, Lopez, Rafinha, and Lewandowski got the goals. 2 more for the Polish striker, who is now on 17 in just 15 matches. What a revival from him. Just needed that flick connection again to find his Gerd Müller record-breaking form from back in 2021. And finally, one of the teams that was free points, like Slovan Bratislava before, is no longer a free points team. RB Salzburg have graduated. They won. They defeated Feyenoord away at De Kuip 3-1, as Pep Linders got some relief. They are undefeated in 4 matches across all competitions, so they have perhaps found a way to stop the bleeding, and maybe Linders' influence will start to bear fruit. So, at the halfway point, Liverpool are at the top of the table with a perfect record, Sporting in second, and then those pesky French clubs are in third and fourth. Right now, 9 points gets you into the haloed top 8. Looking at the mid-table, there are some big names here, such as Real Madrid, Arsenal, AC Milan, Bayern. Whew. And then at the bottom, Slovans, Crvena Zvezda, Young Boys, Sturm Graz, and RB Leipzig are all on 0 points. 0 points for RB Leipzig, guys. Now, after scoring 5 in his first 3 appearances, Kane has been caught in the Golden Boot race. Rafinha, Gyökeres, and Lewandowski are all caught up to him. And with his excellent showing against Leverkusen, Mo Salah is your new assist leader. 2 assists against the German champions moved him to the top spot. All right, boys and girls, that's all for this edition of UCL This Week. Thank you as always for joining me, and I've pinned a comment below with some links to some of the videos that were mentioned in this video, as well as a Gyökeres player profile if you're interested as well. I thought I'd just throw that in there. Sounds good? Thanks, guys. Love you. Bye.